Okay, so the chase. Overall, well, your part 6 is quite entertaining with the Mechanoid and the Dalek fight, the introduction of Stephen, the very emotional departure of Ian and Barbara. Episode 6 is definitely one of the better entries of this 6-part serial. How do we feel about this as an overall piece of work? The serial overall, certainly compared with the Daleks or the Dalek invasion of Earth. My assessment is that decent serial. There's not much of a focus in the plot or concept. I mean, the initial serial of the Daleks is all just about introducing these villains, these antagonist aliens from the planet Skaro, and it's about dealing with them on their own turf. The Dalek invasion of Earth, I guess it's kind of self-explanatory. But there was this brilliant, uncanny factor of seeing them in the contemporary world, in London, in a kind of with this black and white footage. It was almost something out of a little BBC documentary. It's quite cool. There's a cool, slightly cinema verite quality about seeing the Daleks wander around London there. And then we have the chase, which is kind of an excuse for Doctor Who to face the Daleks in multiple different locations. It's not like the Keys of Marinus in the we can have multiple different sets and features and settings and the one serial. We'll just make it. We'll get a different location each time, and so therefore the chase doesn't function as a coherent or cohesive storyline that makes you yearn and think about it when you're not watching it. And then when you are watching it, there's not an engagement in the same way that there is. Certainly, the Dalek Invasion of Earth is probably the best. Was the best Doctor Who serial up to this point in time. Still hadn't been topped yet. Yeah, the chase won't stand out as one of the very best Dalek series in the long run, I feel. I tend to think of, even though it's mostly lost, I tend to think of what is at least available of the Daleks' master plan as demonstrating and showcasing it was superior to the chase. Probably even the first Dalek serial, maybe not Invasion of Earth. And the same can be said of the two Troughton era Dalek serials. I'm a big fan of the Pertwee. The Day of the Daleks with the special edition is a masterpiece. Planet of the Daleks I quite like. Depths of the Daleks I like a lot. We can go into this. We're not going to go into all the Dalek serials, the classic era. We'll get to them eventually. What's more to say here? Yeah, I like the Mechanoids to a point. They look cool. They act kind of cool. The idea of them's kind of interesting and cool. Although my issue is they're very... Okay, put it like this: if it was just the Mechanoids on their own, I think it's. I think I was going to say if the Mechanoids just on their own and not with the Daleks, it wouldn't be as interesting. But I think it could be interesting in a kind of the way the Troughton era would handle stories. They could handle the Mechanoids really well, where they were just this kind of alien menace, and the Troughton era is more like Hammer horror at times, as opposed to the first Doctor Hartnell era would have the Mechanoids at some planet, and then there'd be some conflict between two different peoples who inhabit the planet, and Mechanoids in some other group, but then it would be mostly talking, whereas Troughton era would highlight the Mechanoids as a kind of antagonistic horror entity, as the fear factor of the storyline, and be trying to be menacing. I think that'd be cool, potentially in the Troughton era. I don't think there's that much else to share about the chase. There has its moments, although I consider it overall. If I had to quantify it, I don't like doing this. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 if I had to give it one rating out of 10 at gunpoint. I don't like doing rating out of 10 thing. I feel like it makes these things too binary and kind of set, like, alright, that's a this, that's a that. It's like, something can be a 2 out of 10 and also be a 9 out of 10 in its own way. Some terrible, some traditionally terrible Italian action B movie might be a 10 out of 10 on entertainment value, just some Commando Leopard, Antonio Margheriti or something like that. Maybe that just deserves at least a 7 for filmmaking values. And we're not going to get into Commando Leopard by Antonio Margheriti. That's just because something like that's always in my mind, just because it is. You know how it is on this channel. Anyway, thanks so much everyone for putting up with this. If you're so inclined, do view AOD's Classic Doctor Who Retrospective the next time, because we're going to be discussing the Time Meddler, one of William Hartnell era's finest serials. Thanks again, my friends. Thanks very much again. Thank you.